Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys urged to add two-time Super Bowl champ to replace DeMarcus Lawrence. The Cowboys won the battle against the Giants in Week 4's Thursday night battle. But they may well have lost the wider war, as the team suffered significant injuries to star defenders Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. The team is certain to be without Lawrence for at least 4 weeks, as he hit the injured reserve with a foot injury. But the Dallas Morning News reports that Lawrence could be out as long as 8 weeks as he suffered a broken bone, a Lisfranc injury, in his right foot. The news is better on Parsons, who suffered an ankle injury and was carted off the field in the Giants' win. Parsons is not likely to play in Week 5, but it is possible. Either way, he won't have to hit the IR, which is worthy of a sigh of relief in Dallas. "I think Micah is week to week," said Executive Vice President Stephen Jones to 105.3 The Fan last week, via the Cowboys website. "Every player is different in how their body responds, so Micah is week to week. We haven't ruled him out this week, for that matter. We'll just see how things go." With their already banged-up defense taking yet more slings and arrows, the folks at Bleacher Report have a suggestion for the Cowboys: at least give Frank Clark a look-see. Clark is a 31-year-old veteran and 3-time Pro Bowl defensive end who won championships in Kansas City in both 2019 and 2022. Clark was let go by the Chiefs after the second championship, and bounced between the Broncos and Seahawks last year, playing just 178 snaps on the year. He might not have much left as an NFL-level pass rusher, but it would be worthwhile for the Cowboys to find out. As BR wrote, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence went down with injuries on Thursday and both could miss a significant amount of time. While the Cowboys have Carl Lawson to turn to, it couldn't hurt to add one more veteran into the mix. Clark was released by 2 teams last season, but he did log 5 sacks in 2022 with the Chiefs, so it might be worth it for the Cowboys to at least bring him in for a workout and see if he has anything left in the tank. As it stands, the Cowboys will elevate Carl Lawson, the former Bengals and Jets star, from the practice squad to take over one of the pass rushing spots. Lawson has played 30 snaps in 2 games thus far for the Cowboys, and played only 6 games in New York last year before he fell out with the team's coaching staff. The Morning News reported, discussions about potential roster moves are ongoing, but the current plan is to elevate defensive end Carl Lawson from practice squad for Sunday's game against Pittsburgh, while bringing in several other players for workouts. The Cowboys' backups are Marshawn Kneeland and Chauncey Golston. On the season, Golston has 1 sack and 8 tackles in 4 games, and Kneeland has 8 tackles and 3 quarterback hits. If Parsons is healthy enough to go in Week 5, the Cowboys might not need to make further moves, provided Lawson is up to the task of being in the end rotation. The Derrick Henry decision continues to look bad for the Dallas Cowboys. It is important to note that we do not know how hypothetical situations would have worked out. They are hypotheticals for a reason, after all. Had the Dallas Cowboys chosen to sign running back Derrick Henry back in the spring, then maybe they would be as successful as he is in the grand scheme of things. Henry woke up as a member of a team with a 2-2 record through 4 games, and perhaps that could be the Cowboys as well. Oh wait. Seriously though, Henry is clearly off to an amazing start in his maiden voyage with the Baltimore Ravens. At the time of this writing, before Monday night's doubleheader, Henry leads the league in rushing. To be clear, leading the league in rushing is not the goal of any team, but given how the Cowboys' offense has looked through 4 weeks, it is undeniable that they could use some help in this capacity. The two seem to be drifting in opposite directions in this sense, which only exacerbates fan frustration about a union here not happening when it made sense. In case you did not know, the Dallas Cowboys have 301 rushing yards through the first 4 games of this season. As we outlined in the historical notes from last week's win over the New York Giants, this is the 4th fewest amount of rushing yards Dallas has accumulated through any season's first 4 games. The shorter way of saying that is that the Cowboys have only been worse than what they are now on 3 occasions in all of franchise history. Here is every Dallas Cowboys running back and what they have done through 4 weeks. Rico Dowdle, 34 carries, 134 yards, 3.9 YPC, 0 touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott, 24 carries, 81 yards, 3.4 YPC, 1 touchdown. Deuce Vaughn, 7 carries, 20 yards, 2.9 YPC, 0 touchdowns. Expanding to more advanced statistics does the group no favors. Rico Dowdle, minus 26 RYOE, minus 0.6 rush EPA, 1 run of 10+ yards. Ezekiel Elliott, minus 20 RYOE, minus 4.4 rush EPA, 0 runs of 10+ yards. Deuce Vaughn, minus 17 RYOE, minus 2.1 rush EPA, 0 runs of 10+ yards. You did not need basic or advanced information to know that this running back group is struggling. We talked a few weeks ago about how they were among the most inefficient in the entire NFL, and that remains true, unfortunately. It is for this overall reason that people cannot seem to easily forget Derrick Henry. Jerry Jones said after Baltimore trounced Dallas that the Cowboys could not afford Derrick Henry, a notion that anyone with access to the internet these days can easily disprove. Adding frustration to this whole saga is that Henry was seemingly interested in playing for the Cowboys when he was a free agent. Tony Pollard reminds Cowboys on Monday Night Football, "You get what you don't pay for." Jerry Jones maintains the Dallas Cowboys couldn't afford Derrick Henry last offseason. Same for Tony Pollard. While both are among the NFL's top 15 running backs through 4 games, the Cowboys are saddled with the league's most impotent running game. Moral to the story, you get what you don't pay for? The Cowboys got an up-close and too-personal look at Henry last week when he gashed them for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns in a loss to the Baltimore Ravens. And if they were watching this week's Monday Night Football, they saw Pollard and remembered what it was like to have a running back with a burst. In the Tennessee Titans' blowout of the Miami Dolphins, Pollard rushed 22 times for 88 yards, a touchdown and a 41-yard scamper in which, relatively speaking to the Cowboys plotters, he looked like Olympic gold medal sprinter Noah Lyles. He scored his touchdown on a 4-yard run that sealed Tennessee's first win of the season in the final minute. The Cowboys paid Pollard $10 million using the franchise tag in 2023, then let him walk into free agency. The Titans signed him in March to a 3-year contract worth $21.7 million. Instead of paying Pollard $7 million per season, the Cowboys are using a running back by committee featuring Ezekiel Elliott, making $3 million, Rico Dowdle, $1.25 million, and former Pro Bowl performer Dalvin Cook, who was yet to be elevated off the practice squad. The Cowboys are saving money, but sacrificing results. Through 4 weeks they have the NFL's worst rushing attack, ranking 32nd in yards, 301, 31st in carries, 85, and 30th in yards per carry, 3.5. Combined, Elliott and Dowdle have gained only 215 yards with a long run of 10. The eyeball test showed Pollard's noticeable burst against the Dolphins. And his stats back up his superiority to what Dallas chose without him. Pollard has 246 rushing yards on 61 carries, 4.03, and 2 touchdowns. He also has caught 13 passes for 87 yards. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Tony Pollard? Leave your opinion in the comments.